Hi everyone, I'm Carly.
And I'm Amanda, and we are Be Aware Blount Anti-Drug Coalition. And we're coming to you today remotely for March's coalition meeting. So we thought that in light of everything going on with COVID-19, we would try a virtual meeting to give everyone the opportunity to get updates on what's happening with our coalition, but then also for us to get some feedback from you all and to maintain that contact, since we're not really sure how long we'll be practicing social distancing. Along those lines, we did want to say that we are following CDC recommendations at this point, and we aren't going to be holding any events or meetings with more than 10 people, and that we will be practicing all of those guidelines that have been laid out by the CDC, such as social distancing and hand washing, and we'd encourage you all to do that as well. Obviously, above everything else, the health and wellness of our community and our community members is top priority. So I will try to keep this brief. And if you know me at all, I've kind of never been brief a day in my life. So we'll try to run through this information as quickly as we can. But we did want to say that we've obviously been impacted by cancellations and reschedulings, and we wanted to go through that list so that you kind of know what to expect from us, but also so you know what we've been working on for the past month. The first thing is that we are going to be rescheduling our tobacco pickup day. That was a partnership with Keep Blount Beautiful, but it was really spearheaded by our youth coalition through the Safe Club at William Blount High School. And so we will be rescheduling that day. That'll be weather permitting, and we'll keep everyone posted. If you can donate any time to that pickup, we're just going to the park and picking up cigarette butts. So we'll keep you posted on a date and a time. It'll likely only be a couple of hours, but it's a great way to show support and to pick up and keep our area looking nice as well. The second thing that we're going to be rescheduling is our town hall meeting that was originally planned for the 23rd, but the Blount County Public Library at this point has canceled all of its meetings for the rest of the month, so we won't be holding that then. We wanted to introduce the agenda at least because that is something that will be rescheduled in the coming months as we kind of see how this all plays out. But we do have an agenda with some different content this time. So we have a speaker from Acadia Village that's going to be presenting on youth risk factors and behaviors for substance abuse issues. We have a representative from Street Hope, Tennessee, who's going to be talking about human trafficking and protecting your child from exploitation and trafficking. And then we have Ryan Rogers, who will be presenting. He's with the 5th Judicial Drug Task Force, and he'll be presenting on countywide data, countywide substance use issues, and what they're working on with the task force. So that will be rescheduled, and that is geared towards parents, and we will keep you all posted on that. Our United Way Serve Week has been rescheduled. That's an event that we've done before, and we're looking forward to doing that again, but that will be rescheduled with our 5th grade students. And I think we're probably looking at doing 7th grade the next time for the rescheduling. And then last but not least, maybe the most disappointing one for me is that we were just informed that the DA has actually canceled our National Drug Take Back Day in April on the 25th. So that has been canceled. They really just felt like because of all of the contact that we come in during that day of all the pounds of unwanted, unused, or expired prescription meds that we collect during that day, that it really just isn't safe right now. We do want you to know that you can still drop off any of your unwanted, unused, or expired prescription drugs at the Blount County Justice Center. It's on the visitor side. There's a bin that you can do that safely and anonymously. In saying that, I guess the caveat is do be aware of you are exposing yourself in the community while you're doing that. There will probably be other individuals there. You want to practice, obviously, good hand washing, hygiene, and things like that if you are going out to do those things. The best case scenario probably would be if you're not going to drop them off, to keep them locked up in a lockbox in your home. So we're not rescheduling that as far as we know right now for April. The next drug take back day will be in October. But of course, you can drop off your prescription drugs at any point at the drug drop box. And then we did want to mention, we were really bummed that we didn't get to have this in person, but our March partner in prevention for this month is the Safe Club at William Blount High School. And we selected them because they have done a lot. This is the inaugural class for the Anti-Drug Coalition at William Blount High School. And so we really wanted to give them credit for getting that going off the ground. And then also for trying to work with us on this tobacco pickup day that we're ultimately going to have to reschedule. But that was one of the things and the projects that they were really owning. So we have a plaque for them, and we also have graduation cords for them for being a part of our coalition. So thank you to them.
All right, so we just wanted to update you on some of our spring initiatives. And so for all of our initiatives surrounding prom and graduation, we're taking our plans day by day, just kind of playing it by ear, because I think everyone's a little bit uncertain of how long the social distancing might last, or like if they're going to cancel or reschedule or anything like that. So we're just trying to be flexible, and we're just waiting to hear what everyone's decisions are regarding that. As far as we know, I think Heritage High School is the only one that has officially moved their prom date, and they've moved it to May 2nd. So we will be keeping you updated on all of these initiatives through social media and through our email list. And if you have any questions about that, you can definitely reach out to us. Another thing is, in the interest of just staying connected and staying informed, because knowledge is power during this time, we just wanted to mention that public health is prevention, and so prevention comes in many forms, and we've seen that over the past couple of weeks with, good hand washing hygiene and all of the recommendations that the CDC has laid out in preventing the spread of COVID-19. Prevention also is substance misuse education and information, and so we just wanted to make that connection there. There's also the connection between mental health, isolation, and relapse. We know that isolation can be very difficult for those in recovery, and in fact, making human connections is what's recommended for those in recovery. And so we just want to recognize that this can be particularly difficult for some people in our community, and we just want to make sure that people are remembering that and staying empathetic during this time. Also, some more information that came from NIDA, which is the National Institute on Drug Abuse. These are some potential implications for individuals with substance use disorders. So I just pulled a couple of quotes from this article that I wanted to touch on. And the first one is, because it attacks the lungs, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19 could be an especially serious threat to those who smoke tobacco or marijuana, or those who vape. And so just wanted to touch on that if you've used these products before, you could be more susceptible, or there's some implications now that if you catch the coronavirus, it could be more severe. So just stay careful if you've ever used any of those products or substances. And so the second one is, people with opioid use disorder and methamphetamine use disorder may also be vulnerable due to those drugs' effects on respiratory and pulmonary health. And then also the last one that I wanted to touch on was, individuals with a substance use disorder are more likely to experience homelessness or incarceration than those in the general population. And these circumstances pose unique challenges regarding the transmission of the virus. So I just wanted everyone to keep in mind that people are experiencing this time differently, and empathy and just checking on people around you is really important in keeping community alive during social distancing. In the interest of combating the negative effects that isolation might be having on some people, we are compiling a list of online meetings and resources for those practicing social distancing. So what we found so far is that NA.org has a list of online sessions where you can Zoom, and so basically it's a virtual face-to-face meeting. And so those times are listed on their website, and there's also going to be meetings available in multiple different languages, which is awesome because that will make it more accessible to people. If you need help or anything like that, with setting up or have any questions on what that might look like, definitely reach out to us and we'll do what we can to help. Also, 12step.org has text chatting, online meetings, phone meetings, and more for several different types of substance use disorders. And so, a bit of a disclaimer here, we have not personally tested these, and so we're asking for your help here. If you've used any of these resources or have attended any of these online meetings, please let us know what your experience was with these. If you have any suggestions, we would love to hear it. Please comment in the comment section below, and we'll be compiling a Google Doc where people can edit and suggest some resources and really help one another out.
Okay, so one of the obvious concerns that I think everyone with kids has had with the new developments and the ongoing developments of COVID-19 is how long are they going to be out of school? How long do we need to plan supervision for them while they're at home and out of their normal routine? And we just wanted to touch on that because we know that proper supervision, appropriate supervision of kids any age, older or younger, is really crucial in preventing substance use issues and access to substances. So if they're being supervised by an appropriate adult, it's a lot harder for them to use a substance that they're not supposed to be using. Now is also just a really great time for those casual and frequent conversations, since everyone's together a lot more probably than they've been in a while, about substance misuse and about your thoughts on that. So we do know that teens especially do care about what their caregivers or their parents think on substance use issues such as underage drinking, tobacco, vaping, and illicit drug use. So your opinions do matter. So please do share those with them. Now's a great time for that. And similarly, you know, most of our kids are out of their normal routines. They're not with their peer groups that they're normally with. And their day-to-day schedule is probably a little bit more chaotic than what it would be at school. So we would say that now's a great time for you to check in on the mental status of your kids and making sure that they're not feeling depressed or anxious because of all of these unusual circumstances and changes. It's a great time to talk with them about that. It's a good time to help them find, you know, non-traditional ways to be social, but still keep a safe distance from their peers. So things like FaceTime or Skype, I mean, most of the kids are really well versed in that anyways, but there is benefit there as far as maintaining those social contacts, especially if you have high schoolers or seniors that are feeling probably particularly anxious about some of those end of year activities that they would normally be looking forward to. So we are asking that you monitor that. On the flip side, now is a really crucial time to be looking at and monitoring your child's social media accounts if they have those, making sure that you know whether or not your child has social media accounts because they can create those without your permission, and then setting appropriate parental settings and controls on any of your devices or accounts, so things like YouTube, your computer. There are parental controls for all of that. And we would ask that you take a look at content, what your kids are looking at during the day, and that that's appropriate. We know that YouTube use especially is through the roof right now because everyone's at home. And so you want to make sure that you have an idea of what they're being exposed to. And the last thing I'm going to touch on is now is a really great time. Your kids are at home and all their stuff's at home to do a room check. So going through their room and figuring out what exactly is in your home right now. And that would include looking for things like vape devices, looking for cartridges that would go in a vape device, looking for any kind of alcohol containers or even containers that would store alcohol that wouldn't normally look like an alcohol container, and any other paraphernalia that would come along with that. It's fine to go through their room, and whether or not you choose to talk with your child about that beforehand is up to you. But we would recommend that because, like I said, all of their stuff is at home right now. So you can really have a good idea of what items are in your home. And we would recommend that. So if you have any concerns, if you would like some tips, if you want more resources on what you're looking for if you're doing room checks, on how to set up those parental controls on devices or accounts, please reach out to us because that's definitely something that we can provide and we can walk you through.
All right, so next, I just really want to encourage everyone to stay connected. So if you'd like to leave a comment below about any updates from your agency, we'd love to hear that. So this could include any cancellations or rescheduling of your events and initiatives. Also, if you know of any community resources, please comment those as well. We'll be treating our comment section as kind of a running list of just any pertinent information that people might be interested in or resources they can utilize. And lastly, if you've made it this far in our video, we just really like you to, or we would like to say thank you for staying engaged with us. It means a lot because we typically work in the community, and now that we're practicing social distancing, it's looking a little bit different on our day-to-day. And so we're just trying to meet people where they are and stay connected.
And we do want to get feedback from you all. So that's sort of the last point that we have here. This is the first time we've tried to do a virtual meeting to provide content. And so if you found this to be helpful, please let us know. We're not looking to replace our in-person meetings because we do feel like there's a huge value to being able to see each other face to face and have an open discussion about issues in our community. But we do understand too that things happen, that some months might be difficult for someone to make a meeting. And so having a short or a brief overview of content from a meeting is something that we could start recording and providing online and through our YouTube channel if that's helpful for you all. So similarly, on the flip side of it, if it isn't helpful and you feel like this just isn't something you would want to do, we certainly don't want to use our time to do that or to be promoting that. So either way, no matter how you feel about it, we certainly want to hear from you and know more about your opinions on the matter. When it comes to April's meeting, we're obviously still staying posted. We just don't know yet. If we can have an in-person meeting, we will. But again, we're not going to put anyone in our community or their health at risk. So just stay tuned for that piece of it. And the last thing that I want to say is we do want to thank our partners at the department, or the Tennessee Department of Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services, the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, for funding this project and for continuing to offer us support as our coalitions are figuring out how to navigate this time that is certainly unusual for us all. So in closing, we just want to say stay safe, stay well, and we look forward to hearing from all of you soon. And just keep talking to us and letting us know what resources you all have available for our community. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.